morning, everyone. In this session, we are dealing with continuous random variable. In the first module, we have already discussed discrete random variable whose possible values either constitute a finite set or else can be listed in an infinite sequence. But for a random variable to be continuous, first the values should be either consisting of a single interval AB or the values should be from disjoint intervals. For example, A0, B0, union, A1, B1, etc. Example. And the second condition is that probability that X is taking a particular value is equal to 0. So these are the two conditions for continuous random variable. Now, if you are taking an example, let's say X is defining the depth of a lake. You can see that A will be the minimum depth and B will be the maximum depth of the lake, which constitute X to be a continuous random variable. And the second example is, let's take X to be the pH of a chemical compound. This is also a continuous random variable because X can take the value anywhere from 0 to 40. Hence, X is a continuous random variable. One might argue that although in principle variables such as height, weight and temperature are continuous, but in practice the limitations of our measuring instruments restrict us to discrete world. Now let's take X to be a continuous random variable. Then the probability distribution or the probability density function of a random variable X is a function f of X such that for any numbers A and B with A less than or equal to B, probability of A less than or equal to X less than or equal to B is defined to be equal to integral from A to B f of X dx. That is, the probability that X take on a value in the interval A, B is the area under the graph f of X above the line A, B. And the line f of X is also called a density curve. Now for f of X to be a PDF, it should satisfy two conditions. First one, f of X should be always positive. And the second condition is total integral minus infinity to infinity f of X dx, which is the total probability or the area under the graph f of X should be equal to 1. These are the two conditions for f of X to be a probability density function. For example, let's take f of X to be equal to 1 by 360 if X is between 0 to 360 and 0 elsewhere. Now we can say that f of x, the graph will be looking like from 0 to 360, the graph will be f of x is equal to 1 by 360, and else it is equal to 0. Now clearly f of x is greater than or equal to 0. The first condition is satisfied. Now let's look at the second condition. Integral minus infinity to infinity f of x dx, which is equal to only the value is from 0 to 360, elsewhere it is equal to 0. So 0 to 360, 1 by 360 dx, which is equal to 1 by 360x, varying from 0 to 360, and that is equal to 360 minus 0 by 360, which is equal to 1. So f of x is a probability density function. Both conditions are satisfied. F of x is greater than or equal to 0, and f of x, the total area under the graph, is equal to 1. Now this example or this probability density function is an example of a uniform distribution. Now what do you mean by uniform distribution? So a random variable x is said to have a uniform distribution if the probability density function f of x in the interval a comma b is looking like f of x comma a comma b is equal to 1 by b minus a if x is between a and b and 0 elsewhere. So we call a probability density function f of x in the interval a comma b of the form f of x equal to 1 by b minus a in the interval a comma b and 0 elsewhere to be a uniform distribution. So 1 by the previous example is an the previous question is an example of uniform distribution. Now let's do one problem. Let's take f of x to be equal to 0.75x plus 0.2 in the interval 3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 5, 0 otherwise. Now we have to find whether f of x is satisfying a PDF or probability density function. Now f of x, the first condition, f of x is always greater than or equal to 0. Now the second condition is integral minus infinity to infinity f of x dx, which is equal to, f of x is 0 everywhere else except in from 3 to 5. So 3 to 5 0.75x plus 0.2 dx, which is equal to 0.75 x square by 2 plus 0.2x, where x is varying from 3 to 5. Now let's take 0.75, x square is 25 by 2 minus 9 by 2 plus 0.25 minus 3. Now this is equal to 0.75 into 25 minus 9 is 16 by 2 plus 0.4. Now this is equal to 0.75 into 8 plus 0.4, which is equal to 0.75 into 8 plus 0.04. Sorry, the question is 0.075 so you will get it equal to 1. The total area under the graph of f of x is equal to 1. Hence f of x is satisfying to be a probability density function. Now we can see that for continuous random variable, we have already mentioned that probability at a particular point x equal to c is equal to 0 at a particular value is equal to 0 because probability is defined to be from c to c f of x dx, which is equal to 0. Now the fact that probability taking x to be a particular value c is equal to 0 when x is continuous has an important practical consequence. The probability that x lies in some interval between a and b does not depend on whether the lower limit of a or the upper limit of a is included in the probability calculation. That means that probability of x taking the value between a and b, where a and b included, is equal to probability of a not included x strictly less than x less than or equal to b, which is equal to probability of a less than x less than b, and it is equal to probability of a less than or equal to x less than b. So all these four quantities are equal when x is a continuous random variable. Now, for the same question, f of x equal to 0.075 x plus 0.2 when x is between 3 and 5 and equal to 0 otherwise. We need to find the probability of x taking the value between 3.5 to 4.5. Also, probability of x taking value greater than 4.5. So let's see how to do this problem. Now, for the first part, let's find the probability of x taking values between 3.5 and 4.5. which is equal to integral or area under the graph of f of x in between 3.5 to 4.5, 0.075x plus 0.2 dx. Now this is equal to 0.075 x square by 2 plus 0.2 x, where x is varying from 3.5 to 4.5. Now this is equal to 0.075 into 4.5 the whole square by 2 minus 3.5 the whole square by 2 minus plus 0.2, 4.5 minus 3.5. Now this is equal to 0.075, 4.5 into 4.5 is 20.25 minus 3.5 into 3.5 is 12.25 divided by 2 plus 0.2. Now this is equal to 0.075 into 0.075 into 20.25 minus 12.25 is 8 by 4. 8 by 2 is 4. So 0.075 into 4 plus 0.02. So this is equal to 0.5. The probability that x is taking value between 3.5 and 4.5 is equal to 0.5. Now for the B part, we have probability that x is taking value greater than 4.5 is equal to integral from 4.5 to infinity f of x, the density function, into dx, and that is equal to 4.5 to 5, because otherwise greater than 5 f of x is taking 0 value. So 0.075x plus 0.2 dx, and that is equal to 0.075 x square by 2 plus 0.2x, where x is varying from 4.5 to 5. Now you can do the calculations. You will get 0.075 into 5 square, 0.075, 25 by 2 minus 4.5 the whole square is 4.5 into 4.5, 20.25 divided by 2 plus 0.2, 5 minus 4.5. You can calculate the final value. Now let's talk about cumulative distribution functions. cumulative distribution functions. Now, what do you mean by cumulative distribution function? A cumulative distribution function represented by capital F of x for a discrete random variable x gives for any specified number x the probability of x taking a value less than or equal to x. So it is obtained by summing the probability mass function over the possible values of the probabilities of p of y, where y is less than or equal to x. This was how we calculated the cumulative distribution functions for discrete random variable. But for the continuous case, we will be replacing the summation by the integration. So let's see what is a cumulative distribution function. A cumulative distribution function for the continuous random variable denoted by capital F of x, which is again representing the probability that x is taking a value less than or equal to x, is equal to integral from minus infinity to x of the probability density function f of x dx. So f of x, capital F of x, is the area under the density curve, from minus infinity to a particular value x. For example, let's take the density function. Density function is a uniform distribution in the interval a to b. Let's take f of x to be a uniform distribution, which is given by 1 by b minus a in the interval a to b and 0 otherwise. Now let's calculate the probability, cumulative probability distribution. Now, when x is less than a, f of x, we know that it is generally given by integral from minus infinity to x, f of x dx. Now we are splitting the case when x is strictly less than a. When x is strictly less than a, we know that f of x, the density function is given to be equal to 0. Hence, f of x is equal to 0 when x is strictly less than x. So, integral from minus infinity to 0, 0 of dx is equal to 0. Now, when x is greater than a, or x is between a and b, we know that f of x is equal to integral minus infinity to x f of x dx, which is equal to, we know that I can split it as a to x f of x dx, which is equal to integral a to x 1 by b minus a dx. So x by b minus a by b minus a, which will be equal to x minus a. Evaluation from a to x, we will get a, which is equal to f of x is equal to x minus a divided by b minus in the interval a to b. Now when x is strictly greater than b, greater than or equal to b, we know that f of x is equal to the total minus infinity to x f of x dx, but f of x is only defined, or it is equal to 0 elsewhere except the interval a to b. So a to b 1 by b minus a dx, which is equal to x by b minus a, and that is equal to, evaluation from a to b, we will get the total cumulative distribution to be equal to 1. So the cumulative distribution function is representing the area under the graph of the density curve from minus infinity to a particular value x. Now let's take f of x, let's take a continuous random variable x whose probability density function is given by f of x, and cumulative probability distribution is given by capital F of x. Then for any number a, the probability that x taking a value greater than a is given by 1 minus f of a, or probability of x taking a value in between a and b, we can say it as the cumulative distribution function evaluated at b minus cumulative distribution function evaluated at the point a. Why? Because we know that f of b is representing the area from minus infinity to b, and f of a is representing the distribution or the area under the graph from minus infinity to x equal to a. So from the total area, we are deleting the area till a. So we will get the probability in between a and b, which is the area under the graph above the line segment a and b. Now how to obtain a cumulative, from the cumulative distribution function, the probability density function? That's what we are going to discuss now. Let's take x to be a random, continuous random variable with probability density function f of x and the cumulative distribution function capital F of x at every x at which the derivative f dash of x will be equal to the probability density function. For example, let's take, we have x to be the uniform distribution. F of x is differentiable except at a and b, because from a to b it is a particular value and 0 elsewhere. This is f of x is equal to 1 by b minus a. Now f of x, we already got it to be equal to x minus a divided by b minus a when x is lying between a and b, elsewhere it was equal to 0. for f dash of x is equal to 1 by b minus a in the interval a and b. For a less than x less than b, because at a and b it is not defined. Thank you.